have finally reached the final evaluation question, which is: how did you use media technologies in the construction and research planning and evaluation stages? So, without further ado, here we go. As most things do, for the construction and research part of my coursework, it all began on the internet. So the internet is where all of it began. So let's take a look at what online software I used in order to complete my media coursework. To begin with, there's the basic Google, which enables you to search for pretty much anything, which was really helpful in my coursework as it helped me to fully research film noirs, find out about the backgrounds, the conventions which made my film Chantage what it is. We then move on to Blogger, which is the software that my blog is on. This enabled me to organise my work and keep it all up to date. Then you've got SurveyMonkey, which I use to help find out my audience research. I then use Prezi, which I have used in the past. I used it a couple of times throughout this coursework. It's an interesting way of presenting information. It's a lot more interesting than just basic PowerPoints or blog posts. The next one I used was a bit more interesting actually. It's called Powtoon, which enables you to make an animated slideshow. Some more software I used when planning was Storyboard That, which is really helpful for making an animated storyboard with realistic characters, and it's a lot easier than drawing it out. And I also use a software online called Celtex, which is kind of like a film planning software where you literally just add in all your information and you can add members of your film crew to that online software, and you can all see the script, the props that you need, the actors that are involved, the shooting schedule. It's just really straightforward and it was really helpful in organising. So the majority of the online software that I used enabled me to make really interesting presentations rather than just a random PowerPoint or a blog post that looks quite dull, isn't interesting, and it doesn't really show my knowledge of technology or my skills. So now we're moving on to the planning and evaluation stages of my coursework. This involves a lot more hardware. So when actually filming the film Chantage, I use what I'm using to film now, which is a Sony HD Handycam. I use this because it's really high quality. It's even got a Steadicam, which makes sure that your footage isn't all shaky. In order to get really high quality sound, we also used a boom mic with an extension lead, which would enable us to get really close to our actors so that we could get really good sound and be able to hear what the actors are saying over all the busy street noises. Technology doesn't always go to plan though. When we were using the microphone, it actually kind of messed up a lot of our filming because we should have checked it, to be fair. So that's one thing I've learned, is to check the software before. You actually use it. So we had started filming with the microphone plugged in, so obviously any sound that the camera was picking up, it was through the microphone. But what we didn't realise was the microphone was broken, so we actually filmed for like half an hour and then we watched it back. Luckily we watched it back and we found out that there wasn't any sound because the microphone was broken. So we then spent a couple of minutes just trying to fix it, and then we had to just refilm everything again. But even though we had refilmed, the microphone was still dodgy, so it ended up being distorted and really just it didn't really sound good at all. So that actually meant that we had to film even later on, meaning that delayed our editing stages and the final release of the film. I think that's a lesson to me, to always check my technology before I use it. We also used a Nikon D90 to take the pictures for my film poster of the hand holding the gun and the lipstick. This enabled me to take some really high quality shots. We also used a tripod, which my camera is currently on now, so I can't actually show it to you, but it's a really sturdy, metal one, which enabled us to take some really steady shots opposed to really handheld shaky shots. To make sure that our actors and actresses could be seen in the dark, we also brought along some torches so that the actors could be seen as it was dark. The camera doesn't actually always pick up everything that you want it to. When making my film, I used Final Cut Pro X in order to edit it, as this is quite a straightforward yet really highly professional software where you can just really easily drag in your clips, make transitions, add sound effects, and it's really straightforward, and yet it also enables you to make some really high quality films. I also used some photo manipulation software, including Adobe Photoshop CS6 and an online software called PicMonkey. Let's take a look at Photoshop. So here you can actually see how simple the editing is. You're able to put things in black and white really easily, change the colours to make things contrast more, change the brightness, the contrast. It makes it really simple. And then you can also add text as well, which is why I chose Photoshop to make my film poster. The second piece of online software I used was PicMonkey, in which you can edit a photo really simply by just adding the photo, playing around with it until you've got what you want. I use it to make the film review. You can also create new projects just from scratch, and that enables you to add texts and shapes, which really helped to make it quite simple to make a film review in the layout that I wanted. For the evaluation stage of my project, I used again Final Cut Pro in order to edit the videos of me talking, like this one here. I used my camera again, the tripod. Software wise, I used some different software, one of those being eMaze, which is a really simple, straightforward presentation software that enabled me to make a kind of animated presentation that I then put into Final Cut Pro and added a voiceover. So there you have it. There is the technology that I used in the construction, research, planning and evaluation stages. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this project.